So in this unit, you'll be studying the American War of Independence, trying to understand what led the American colonists to suddenly reject their British loyalties, to get angry about British tea, and certainly about British taxes, and to chart their own course. One of the things I want you to think about is what really changed as a result of this War of Independence, Americans' declaration of their sovereignty as no longer being subject to the British Empire, and what it meant really to be citizens of a new country. What changed and what didn't change. There are some things that remain the same in America, British North America, after independence. There was some continuity of institutions, important social, political institutions, as well as change. So think about those things, the continuities, as in addition to the upheavals and the novelties of the new American Republic. Okay, so it's July the 4th, 2018. I'm standing here in Q-Lot on the WIU campus, and just strolling around this nice evening, listening to some music, and asking people a few questions about July the 4th. And sir, just met you. Thanks for doing this. I wanted to ask you, why do we celebrate July the 4th?
Well, it's our Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's July the 4th?
Well, it goes way back.
Uh-huh.
I don't know the exact. I mean, as you know, I told you I was 51, so
Right.
that's.
You're not that old, right?
Well, I mean, I ain't that old.
You didn't see him sign the Declaration or anything?
No. I mean, nothing like that.
Right.
You know.
Do you know any of the words in the Declaration of Independence?
Oh boy, is that the one that went 7 years ago, or is that the one?
That's the Gettysburg Address.
See, I got the.
Yep.
I'm off
Yep.
kilter.
Okay,
Oh boy.
that's all right. What is
I
the?
feel stupid now.
No, not at all.
I feel stupid.
No, not at all. What does July the 4th mean to you? What do you think we celebrate it for now?
Freedom. I mean, that's, I know that's in there too, of course.
Yep.
It should be more free though.
Right.
The United States ain't near as free as they used to be.
Yep.
I mean, there's too much stuff going on. I ain't gonna get into details.
Right. Yeah. Let's put politics aside on July the 4th. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks very much. Why do we celebrate July the 4th?
July the 4th, pretty much the independence of our freedom.
Independence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know why it's July the 4th?
That's
Particularly?
That's the day, I believe, is it the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Yep. Do you know anything that do you know any words in the Declaration of Independence?
Not too much. It's been a long time since I studied that. It's been a while.
Yeah. Right. What do you think people today? What do you celebrate July the 4th for now? What do you think it means today for Americans?
For Americans, I pretty much think that it shows everybody how a day that we can all come together, pretty much to show our freedom and just be all together. How I feel personally.
That's why you're out here.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Just a thing to for a day for everyone to be together and celebrate this wonderful country we live in.
Yeah.
For everybody to be together.
Right on. Okay. Why do we celebrate July the 4th as Independence Day?
It was the signing of I can't remember what it's called.
Uh-huh. Declaration of Independence.
Yes,
Yep.
Declaration.
Do you know what the Declaration of Independence said?
That all men are able to bear arms and all men are free and equal.
Do you know any of the specific words in the Declaration of Independence?
I do not.
Yeah. What did in general, what did the Declaration of Independence say?
All men are free and equal in America, and you have the right to bear arms.
Okay. What do you think people? What are you out here for today? Why do you celebrate the 4th of July? What does it mean? What do you think it means to us now?
It's when we finally signed our independence.
Independence. Does it mean something else today in 2018, or does it still have
Still has the same meaning for me.
same meaning? Okay. Why do we celebrate July the 4th?
Because it's when America was born, 1776.
1776. What famous document happened on July the 4th?
The Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. What did the Declaration of Independence say?
That all the people were created equal. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's right. What are we out here for today in 2018? What do you think we as Americans think about on July the 4th
Freedom.
in 2018?
Peace.
Freedom and peace. What's the big deal about July the 4th? Why do we celebrate July the 4th?
That's our country's independence.
Yeah. I mean,
Why do we celebrate?
in history, what happened on July the 4th particularly?
They signed the Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of Independence. Right on. Yeah. What did the
If this is a test, I don't know.
no, you get an A+. You get an A+ for saying yes. Do you remember any of the specific language in the Declaration of Independence?
I do not.
Do you think that people think about July the 4th now differently than they did in history? Why do you think people are out here today?
I think it's more of a holiday for work and to go out and have fun,
Right. Yeah.
shoot off fireworks,
Yeah, we have. Right.
join family
Yeah.
and friends.
Yeah. Right on. So we talked with a few people out at July the 4th in Macomb about what they think about Independence Day and what they knew about the Declaration of Independence. Apparent that a lot of people don't know exactly what's in the Declaration of Independence. There isn't an assertion of a right to bear arms, and it's not where the phrase 7 years ago appears. Of course, that's in the Gettysburg Address. The Declaration of Independence is a little bit obscure for Americans. We know it exists, but we don't know exactly what it says. And that's not surprising. We don't really need to know about the details of historical documents, most people every day. But in this class, we should know what it says. We're studying American history. This is the original Declaration of Independence. Right there, you can see how weathered it is. Of course, I'm kidding. It's not the original Declaration. I'd be in jail if I had that. It is a copy, but it's a facsimile made to look very old. But it is the original handwriting, mainly of Thomas Jefferson, their primary author of the Declaration. Signed there, very large letters by John Hancock, the president of the Continental Congress, who commissioned the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence, when you study it, actually breaks down into 3 parts. The first part is a kind of philosophical argument, famous words about inalienable rights, rights given to people by God. They don't need to be proven. They're just inherent in all humans. The famous phrase that all men are created equal. This is Jefferson's famous mysterious phrase. We question what Jefferson really meant when he said that all men are created equal. Jefferson, of course, was a slave owner. So it's apparent by that and by other things that he said that he didn't really believe at the time in racial equality. Nonetheless, Jefferson says at the beginning that all men are created equal, that governments are instituted to protect people's rights, those inalienable rights, and that when governments violate those rights, people have the right to change, to abolish, to overthrow their government and to begin a new one. And this is putting um, basically a theory revolution down on paper that people have the right to overthrow tyrannical government. The second part of the document, of the Declaration, is a long list of grievances written out, all the wicked things that King George III had done to the colonists over time, a kind of laundry list of evidence, you could say, that support the claim of the American colonists, as will be asserted in the third part, to independence, interdicting trade, abolishing trial by jury, taxing the Americans without their consent, riling up the savage Indians, as Jefferson calls them, on the frontier against the colonists. There's a subtle hint in the Declaration of the British fomenting slave insurrections. Jefferson, strangely enough, Jefferson actually originally condemned the African slave trade in the Declaration of Independence. Another one of the things, that a grievance that he blamed King George III for. But other members of the committee and then other members of the Continental Congress insisted that that allegation be taken out of the Declaration, and so it doesn't appear. It would have been too divisive among the members of the Continental Congress for a criticism of the slave trade to appear in it. Southerners in Philadelphia were adamant that there be no reference to slavery being a bad thing in the Declaration of Independence. The third part of the Declaration is then a kind of summation or kind of the intersection of the philosophical claims at the beginning and the evidence in the middle part. And the third part reaches a kind of conclusion. It says, therefore, based on the things that King George has done, violating the colonists' inalienable rights, the American colonists have the right to declare themselves an independent sovereign state. And Jefferson says, and therefore, the United States of America, the first time that phrase is used, is declared into existence. And as a sovereign state, Jefferson says that the Americans have the right to make alliances. Doors open, France. Doors open, Spain. Doors open, Netherlands. Come do business with us, Americans. If you want to make war on the British, we can make military alliances. We can make commercial alliances, and do all the things that sovereign states make. What's interesting about the Declaration is it's really therefore two kinds of document. One part of the Declaration is an assertion of the sovereignty of the United States, the independence of the United States, no longer colonists, now citizens of a sovereign state. The other part of the Declaration is this more philosophical claim about human rights. Everybody's equal. Everybody has the chance to be equal on earth. And those two parts of the Declaration have come down to us over time in somewhat different kind of historical trajectories. The second part, the part of the Declaration that declares states into existence as sovereign states, has been much more successful over time. The United States became a sovereign state. Other colonial people resorted to using language in the Declaration to declare themselves independent. The Vietnamese people used that language to declare independence from France. Rhodesia would use the Declaration of Independence to declare independence from Britain in the 1960s. Texas would use this language to declare independence from Mexico in the 1830s. So the sovereignty of states has been a very important legacy of the Declaration, and has been fairly successful. It's been the basis for the independence movements all over the world since the 18th century. The other part of the Declaration, asserting the philosophical claim of human equality, has proven much more elusive. In the American history, it took a long time. It is taking a long time for different groups to really achieve equality in American society. Of course, slavery persisted after the American War of Independence. Martin Luther King is in the 1960s still calling for racial equality in the United States, resorting back to the Declaration of Independence. Women used the Declaration of Independence to declare the rights of women in the 1840s, and it would not be until the 20th century, the mid-20th century, when women could really claim to have achieved equality with men.
I thought you said you wanted the video to be like 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
You've been talking for like 8 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just wind up. Again, very interesting and surprisingly complex document. We should study it, the Declaration of Independence, as American historians in this class, and be able to know and tell others what is actually in our famous assertion of independence and what is not.